We may have strike action contained because AMCU are refusing to sign, but it's not the majority union in the whole sector. But let's start with the big story of the day, which is the bad news, and that's the granting of a certificate to AMCU, which could see a strike in the gold mining sector. But first, South Africa definitely gearing up for another major strike. After wage talks in the coal sector collapsed, workers are now preparing to strike. There, the National Union of Mineworkers has issued notice of a strike. Now that means it needs 48 hours, then a strike action can take place. So we're looking at Sunday at around 6 o'clock, those workers expected to down tools. The implications unclear at this stage because, of course, Eskom relies on coal to keep its operations running. Now, moving to the gold sector, the majority of unions, the National Union of Mineworkers, UASA and Solidarity, have signed a wage agreement with two of the major gold mining companies, Anglogold and Harmony, but AMCU refusing to sign, and that has implications for Sibanye Gold. Let's find out more. I'm joined by my colleague, SABC reporter Mbongeni Muthwa. Thank you for joining us. So let's start with gold. Sibanye, AMCU is the majority union at Sibanye. AMCU has refused to sign. What does that mean?
It simply means that AMCU can go on a protected strike at Sibanye. They have a thin majority there. The three other unions, that's NUM, Solidarity and UASA, have a combined representation of 49%, which means AMCU is at 51%. In fact, the difference is so thin that according to Sibanye, the three unions need just 800 to recruit 800 people for them to gain the majority. Sure. According to the unions, they need 300. And they are very confident that they can do that recruitment over the next week and basically topple AMCU even before they down tools and be able to sign, and then AMCU can go.
So this is amazing. The company and the National Union of Mineworkers actually aligned because I guess if they work together, a strike can be avoided.
Well, in a way...
Not aligned, but on the same side, basically.
It would seem, but right now they're not the best of friends.
Yeah.
The three unions are seething. They are very, very angry that Sibanye refused to sign with them, even though they are not the majority there. Because they say, they are saying it's the first time in the history of wage negotiations that a company makes an offer to the unions accept the offer, and then the company refuses to sign nonetheless.
But doesn't Sibanye have a point? Without AMCU's signature, AMCU, the majority union, it will still face strike action. So it needs AMCU's signature.
Absolutely. I think from their side, it would seem that they have a point from their point of view, because signing with the three is not going to prevent strike action, but also is going to expose them financially, because if they sign with the three, it means they must implement the wage increase for the members of the three, backdated to the 1st of July, and then face a situation where AMCU downs tools, there is no production, and then they're paying workers more. You see what I mean? So it's I guess
fascinating. Okay, so the gold mines, I was watching them on the market today, down. They ended 3% more up. So it seems that there's a lot of relief, and I guess we have avoided a large-scale strike in the gold mining sector. Is that correct?
Certainly, because the companies that have signed, which is Anglogold and Harmony, they make up, there's three big companies in gold. It's Anglogold, Harmony, and Sibanye. So the two are two of the three biggest. So we're not going to have an industry-wide strike. That has been averted. So I guess that people can be happy about that.
Okay, so that's maybe the good news. The bad news is that we are looking at an industry-wide strike in the coal mining sector. I spoke to the NUM earlier this week saying 30,000 workers will down tools. They now have issued a strike notice, 48 hours. Do we know the implications of this?
Well, I think the implications mainly are for Eskom, because coal is small compared to gold and platinum, for instance. Coal is not one of the big industries. Also, compared to gold and platinum, it's not as labor intensive, because the coal mines, it's mainly open cast mines, and they use tractors to dig up the coal, put into trucks and so on. So there's not a lot of deep mining and so on. Also, the numbers, you can't get a straight answer as to exactly how many people are employed in coal. Sometimes they mention 30,000, sometimes they will tell you it's 18,000. But one thing is for certain is that NUM represents the lion's share, the majority. So if they don't choose, it seems like Eskom will be the biggest loser, because Eskom sources all its coal from local mines, and they are not known for keeping large stockpiles that could last them for months if there is no supply coming through. So I think the problem could be there. But we must say, I understand that today the Chamber of Mines contacted NUM to say, okay, please, let's see if we can work something out to still prevent you downing Joe Sunday. So something could still happen before they actually down
Okay, so
Sunday.
sort of an 11th hour agreement. I think Eskom at the time when this was looming said that it did have some stockpiles, but obviously at some point those run out. Unfortunately, we could not get hold of Eskom today. We will keep trying to find out exactly what the impact will be, but right now it looks like we could be facing a large strike in the coal mining sector starting from Sunday. Thank you for your time, Mbongeni Muthwa.